Hi everyone, I'm here with my friends at AllFreeBeadedJewelry.com who asked me to produce a video on how to make a basic beaded bracelet.
Hi everyone. To begin to make your basic bracelet, you need to gather your tools. You'll need some flat nose pliers for your crimping, your crimp beads. And you'll need some form of cutter. You can either use jewelry cutters or you can use a pair of scissors depending on what you're beading with. All of these tools are easily found at all craft stores and even Walmart. That's where I got mine. You want to gather your materials. You'll need your beading material. I'm using a soft flex beading wire. You can also use beading cord or string depending on how sturdy you want it. Again, they can be found at most craft stores. You'll need a measuring tape or ruler. You'll need a jump ring right here. And you'll need 2 crimps. They're very, very tiny. I'm not even sure you're going to be able to see them here. And that is one of the reasons I'm using this little towel. If these drop, they will bounce and they'll be gone forever. I'll never be able to find them. You'll need your desired clasp. I'm going to be using a lobster claw clasp only because that's what's available to me. On a beginner's bracelet, I recommend that you use a toggle clasp or a magnetic clasp. First, you need to measure your wrist. I use a measuring tape. And then you want to measure out your bracelet. And you just put your beads together here. You can either use a beading board. You can see there, it's very tiny. And then I'm going to thread the toggle, the lobster claw clasp. This is why you want to leave a lot of extra room on your wire. Then I'm going to loop around and back through that crimp bead. And I'm going to pull that crimp bead up very close, as close as I can get it up to the lobster claw clasp. And I'm also going to make sure that those 2 wires are next to one another and not on top of one another. I want it to lay flat. And then I'm going to take my flat nose pliers and just crimp that bead down. And you can see it's nice and flat, and that's not going to go anywhere. So that's nice and secure. I'm still going to leave this tail because I'm going to thread it through some of the beads. And now I'm going to, using the other end, I'm going to start stringing my beads. This is a fancy little spacer that I like on the ends where the clasps are next to these round beads. I just think it gives a little extra something. But again, do what you like. Get the beads that make you happy or what you think might be appreciated for a gift. And do that last decorative ring. Our last bead. And I want to check it. It looks good. Now on this end where I had the wire sticking out, I want to make sure that wire is threaded back through the beads. Okay. And that wire is buried nice in there. Now on this end, I'm just going to cut it so it's a little easier to work with. I have a very long tail. It's always better to have it longer. We're going to find that second tiny little crimp bead. Okay, and there's the crimp bead. Then we're going to take the jump ring, thread the jump ring. We're through the jump ring, and I'm going to go right back through that crimp bead, and then I'm going to continue and go through a couple more beads. So we're going to pull that nice and snug so we have that. You want a little movement in your bracelet. You don't want it too tight. That's looking pretty good. And when you checking to make sure those wires are side by side. Take your pliers and you want to secure that crimp bead. Nice and flat. And we want to cut our wire. And there is your finished bracelet.